Welcome to A Brighter Future for Tomorrow, Be a Hillside Hero. I'm Lauren Bauer and I'm the Hillside art teacher. I'm going to be your host for today's event. I'm so excited to give you a glimpse into life at Hillside. To start our event today, I'd like to welcome the head of our school, Donna Henry.
Welcome to A Brighter Future for Tomorrow, Be a Hillside Hero. Leading a school during a global pandemic has been an experience like no other. I really must commend all the students, teachers, and staff members for their flexibility, perseverance, and hard work. We were able to take this year of adapting to continual changes and overcoming obstacles and create an opportunity to change how we deliver our mission. We've been operating very differently with detailed health and safety guidelines, and most notably, wearing masks and staying physically distanced. These create a sterile image and are in stark contrast to such a personal business. Subtle cues like a smile of encouragement, a pat on the shoulder, or a look that says, make a better decision, and using body language like sitting shoulder to shoulder to read a novel, or positioning yourself next to a student having a hard time focusing, needed to be reimagined. Despite these barriers, we were able to preserve the caring, intimate environment our students thrive in. Faculty and staff collaborated, experimented, and ultimately built a robust program from the ground up that best serves our student population. We operated the program in a hybrid instructional model, which means the students came in person some days, engaged in distance learning some days, and participated in both some days. It probably goes without saying that everyone involved with the school increased their technology skills. Teachers creatively developed ways to build relationships with their students and connect the students to each other. The Social Committee is a group of teachers and staff who plan school-wide themed events, and they help to establish the feeling of community by designing new online activities and adapting beloved ones. While the way students received instruction was different, delivering the mission with integrity remained the same. Students continued their learning not only in their core classes, but art, speech and language, guidance, technology, physical education, and library media. They practiced executive skills, including time management, by setting alarms on their phones to attend distance learning classes, organization and planning, by creating and using clickable schedules, and of course, flexibility in all aspects of life. We've seen tremendous growth in many students' independent learning, self-advocacy, and problem-solving skills. I'd like to share some positive thoughts from the 7th and 8th graders about distance learning. We don't have to pack our lunch. We can sleep later in the morning. There's no commute. We don't have to wear masks all day. There's more snacking time. We can dress in comfy clothes and not a uniform, and we can play more with our pets. Spring came with a wonderful advancement to our school community. It is very exciting to say that all students are back in the building for a full day of in-person instruction Monday through Friday. Parts of the schedule look a bit different, especially lunch and recess, but we could tell students were smiling under their masks and happy to be back with all their friends. Here again are some thoughts from the 7th and 8th graders, this time about the positives of returning to full in-person instruction. We can socialize with our friends. Our math groups now meet in person. We get to have lunch and recess. It's better for me to be away from my siblings. The schedule's easier to follow. It's easier to participate. I can't be sneaky. And all of us will be more prepared for the 21-22 school year. No matter the instructional model or the health and safety guidelines, our dedicated faculty and staff will continue to purposefully maximize the potential of Hillside students through excellence in education. We are so very appreciative of all our donors, and we continue to need your help to raise necessary dollars to provide students with a Hillside education through the Hillside School Scholarship Fund. There are a few ways anyone can make a gift at any time. First, you may go to our website, click on Donate. Text Hillside Hero to 44-321, or You can set up your own peer-to-peer giving site. Thank you again for your generosity.
Thanks, Donna. Now let's take a look inside of our Hillside Classrooms.
Mrs. Sontag's students have been engaged with creative writing projects and learning how to use Empower brain frames. Most recently, the students wrote about how to catch a leprechaun and Just Ducky stories using the sequencing brain frame.
This year, Mrs. Kuntzman's class used brain frames to record the main event of each chapter in our guided reading books and to record the characters, connections, traits, and other attributes we learned about them throughout the book. We also have worked through the steps of Empower to help us develop responses to writing prompts. We've studied about colonial life and the events leading up to the American Revolution.
We're so excited to be able to add an additional intermediate class this year.
This year, Mrs. D'Angelo's class made Glogster posters, which are multimedia posters about a country they would like to visit. In honor of Women's History Month, they picked a famous woman, researched that woman, and displayed the information on a poster. They made interactive maps while learning about Mesopotamia in social studies.
Welcome to the Elementary and Intermediate Science Lab. Students in grades K through 5 experience a standards-aligned science curriculum while getting a personalized and adaptive experience. Our elementary students experience topics ranging from the 5 senses to weather, animal and plant adaptations, forces, and energy, just to name a few. Each lesson concludes with a hands-on interactive science lab. Our intermediate students cover topics such as the solar system, water cycle, matter, and chemistry. All concluded with hands-on labs and notes to promote independent learning.
Thank you to our title sponsors, Culligus Family ShopRite, Via Media, and the M.D. Lieberman Foundation.
Weekly, students have an hour art class where they explore many different mediums, techniques, and styles of art. At the beginning of every class, we spend 5 minutes on a silly starter drawing. This is a drawing prompt that changes weekly. This activity helps students gain confidence in their drawing skills by allowing them to create without the fear of having their work not look like something that they're familiar with in real life. In art, we create a combination of 2D and 3D projects. This gives the students an opportunity to work with materials they enjoy, while also introducing them to others they may not have experienced. Clay is a crowd favorite here, and the kiln we have in the art room is well loved. Due to periods of virtual learning this year, we have done multiple projects using Google Draw. This has been a wonderful addition to our art lessons and has given students the opportunity to try out digital art.
In technology, we cover a variety of topics depending on the student's grade level. We always begin with lessons on internet safety and digital citizenship. Older students also learn about website authority. As part of their day-to-day schoolwork, students are introduced to everything Google, including Google Drive. Lessons are also given on typing, coding, stop-motion animation, digital online poster creation, and photography. To increase their backpack of technology tools, students learn about assistive programs such as Snap and Read, Co-Writer, and how to access books that are read aloud using Learning Ally and/or Bookshare.
Mrs. Hanasek's class had some high-flying fun. That's code for completing poetry using personification and creating kites to display the poetry on. They followed up by flying kites outside. They are also spending time reading Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief. This has led to a tournament day, the creation of vases in art class, letters to Gabe and Dionysus, which are displayed in the hallway, and each student is creating their very own website on one of the Olympic gods or goddesses.
Thank you to our silver sponsors, Ansonique Artisan Perfumes, Shyme Technologies Incorporated, RCN, M&H Sales, Donna and Gary Henry, Barbara and Bruce Kenyon, Gretchen Crasley, Terry and Darlene Stack, Bruce and Sandy Wagaman.
Mrs. Edelman's class has integrated a critical thinking component to all of our language arts assignments. One of our favorite assignments was creating a Flipgrid video on how to trap a teacher. First, students watched a TED Ed video on the wild world of flesh-eating plants. Together, we recorded some of the tricks that carnivorous plants use to trap their prey. Students had to use critical thinking skills to both apply some of the tricks from the carnivorous plants and add their own creative ideas to design a trap for a teacher. Students displayed their trap via a Flipgrid video. Students even shared these at assembly. Students also researched unsung heroes as part of the Unsung Hero Project. We completed these after reading about unsung heroes during Black History and Women's History Months. Students conducted research for their essay writing and designed a unique award to commemorate their unsung hero.
Ms. Hefner and Mr. Luchansky have been working with their classes on a small group independent reading project. The students put together a one-pager take on a creative but very comprehensive project that Ms. Hefner introduced. Within groups, students researched all parts of their novels: plot, characters, setting, conflict, resolution, quotes, and academic vocabulary, and created a visual made up of printed, hand-drawn, and handwritten material. These projects were all based on several different World War II historical fiction novels by Alan Gratz. Ultimately, the serious but action-packed nature of these novels captured the attention of our 7th and 8th grade crew. In addition to this final one-pager project, we had a Holocaust presenter come to talk to the students and display real artifacts to conclude the project.
Middle school science students have engaged in experiments and activities all year as a way to enrich learning and strengthen executive skills. Here, 8th graders carry out flame tests, relating the colors they see to an element's atomic structure. 7th graders are in the process of constructing raised beds for our hillside garden, where they'll plant the seedlings they've started indoors. And 6th graders are finishing up a unit on landforms by modeling bays, straits, and peninsulas out of clay.
Thank you to our bronze sponsors, East Penn Manufacturing Company, Tom and Molly Kenyon, and Lisa and Joe Napolitano.
In working on speech and language with Mrs. Ashmore, students are provided with small group and whole class lessons. Therapy is tailored to focus on individual student language needs. The whole class lessons are more generalized lessons that focus on using strategies and giving extra practice of language skills.
The goal of the physical education program at the Hillside School is to develop physically healthy individuals who have the knowledge, skills, and confidence to enjoy a lifetime of physical activity. Students have the opportunity to participate in a variety of activities that not only build their physical skills, but also teach them the importance of teamwork, sportsmanship, and cooperation. This year, students had the opportunity to participate in martial arts. Lehigh Valley Martial Arts partnered with Hillside to offer our students a unique 4-week program that teaches respect, courage, integrity, perseverance, and compassion. Other fun and educational opportunities for our students include the American Red Cross Kids Heart Challenge and our annual field day.
Through weekly reading classes, the students can select reading choices from our multi-leveled collection of fiction and nonfiction books, kindergarten through 8th grade and up. We're fortunate that we have 2 separate rooms to house our library collection. The primary library houses picture books, chapter books at varying reading levels, and nonfiction books. The Rick Room, sometimes referred to as the middle school library, houses a vast amount of classroom collection books, enough that an entire class can read at the same time, and young adult fiction and nonfiction books. One activity the students love to partake in is listening to a novel read aloud. We do this weekly for the enjoyment of sharing a book together, but we're also reviewing reading skills such as summarizing and literal and inferential comprehension.
In guidance classes, we have covered many topics this year, including regulating emotions, perspective taking, mindfulness, career exploration, time management, growth mindset, kindness, and social skills. We used a mixture of in-person and online activities like games, role plays, scavenger hunts, and collaborative Google Slides. We have also spent a lot of time working with students in class and individually on coping skills and processing the changes and fears that they're experiencing due to COVID. Students have shown how resilient and adaptable they can be during this time, and we continually praise and point out that positive growth.
Now that you've had a look inside of the classrooms, let's hear from Cadence Ryan, a Hillside 8th grader.
Hello, I am Cadence and I am an 8th grader at the Hillside School. Before I came to Hillside, in the middle of 4th grade, school was a struggle for me. Growing up, I was never good in school. I would get headaches while reading, and nobody could read my handwriting. Some of my teachers would call me lazy and told me to just try harder. This was discouraging for me because I was the hardest working out of all my friends, and yet they still did better. School eventually just became really unfun for me. Who wants to go somewhere when people just tell you how stupid you are? Test after test, report card after report card. I was failing kindergarten through 4th grade, and there was nothing I could do to stop that. When I was in 3rd grade, my teacher mentioned to my mom during a conference that I might have dyslexia. My mom kind of just kept the idea in her head for a year. The first half of 4th grade was the worst year of my life. I was failing miserably. I would come home crying most days about how bad it was at school. My mom remembered what my 3rd grade teacher had told her about dyslexia and started researching. She realized that I matched the description for dyslexia perfectly. I went through quite a bit of testing, and when the results were in, I found out that I had dyslexia, but that's not it. I also found out that I have dyscalculia and dysgraphia. When I first received my diagnosis, I was devastated. I was left wondering many things. Was I stupid? Will I be a loser for the rest of my life? A part of me was happy, though. At least now I knew that what I had was actually a real thing. The reason I was doing so poorly was because of my disability. During the middle of the 4th grade PSSAs, my mom pulled me out of school. She told me that I was not going back there. I had toured Hillside a week before. I figured I would be going there because it seemed like a great school, but I just didn't know it would be that soon. The next week I started school at Hillside. There were only 7 kids, including me, in my class. Right away, the way the teacher taught me was so much easier for me to understand. This was a school for kids with learning disabilities such as dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, ADHD, and many others. At Hillside, I learned more about the nature of my disability, as well as strategies I can use to overcome challenges. You've probably heard of dyslexia, but it's not exactly as people think it is. Dyslexia is a term for disorders that involve difficulty in learning to read or interpret words, letters, and other symbols, but it does not affect general intelligence. When people hear the term dyslexia, they might think an exaggerating meaning or that it makes someone stupid, but that's not it at all. Everyone with dyslexia is a little different. For me, spelling has always been the hardest struggle, but for others, it might be reading or anything else. I use editing softwares to edit my pieces so that they don't have any spelling mistakes. Dysgraphia is more of a struggle with the ability to write. For instance, I have horrible handwriting. I try my hardest and it is still not that good, but it is still completely readable and has gotten better throughout the years. It can be anything from grammar, capitalization, spelling, and so many more. At Hillside, we use a program called Empower when writing. This involves following a series of steps to develop and organize ideas. I use it for all my writing assignments. Dyscalculia is a math learning disability that can make it hard to do simple math. In 4th grade, I was a grade below in math and still struggling. Now I am a grade above my level. Again, everyone can experience it differently. For me, I have really good computation, but the simplest things can be hard to do in my head. I use a calculator to help minimize errors. I have been at Hillside for 4 years now, and the change it has made in my learning is insane. I am now grade above or grade level with straight A's for every subject. I still have my struggles, but with the strategies the school has taught me, I am prepared for high school. I still can't believe what little me would be thinking, seeing how well I am doing academically. Like I said, I am in 8th grade now. This means this is my last year here at Hillside. I, along with a lot of my friends, are a little nervous to leave Hillside. Luckily, I truly believe that thanks to Hillside and what they taught us, we will all be just fine throughout our high school experience. Next year, I will be attending Lehigh Valley Charter Arts High School. I have been accepted into the literary arts program. Now I know that choice might surprise you, the dyslexic kid going to school to write, but throughout the past few years, I have really developed a passion for writing. As far as future plans and career paths, I know I want to write, but I don't exactly know what I want to write about. Directing has always sounded cool to me, but we will see. I'm hoping to figure everything out in high school. I still have 4 years until I have to make that decision, so there is no reason to rush. I'm just going to see where life takes me. Hillside has helped me gain confidence and transform me from a student who hated school to an aspiring writer. I am grateful that I've had the opportunity to attend this school for the past 4 years and would like to personally thank all of the individuals who have contributed to Hillside.
As we bring our event to a close, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It is because of individuals like you we are able to deliver our mission with excellence. It's never too late to make a gift to the Hillside School Scholarship Fund. You can donate now by visiting hillsideschool.org and clicking on Donate, or texting Hillside Hero to 44321. You can also set up your own fundraising page to help us reach an even wider audience. Every gift makes a difference. You make a difference. Thank you.